This is Bruce Friedman of Adult Site Broker, and welcome to Adult Site Broker Talk, where each week we interview one of the movers and shakers of the adult industry, and we give you a tip on buying and selling websites. This week we'll be speaking with Stephan Haenel of FinXP. Adult Site Broker is proud to announce the launch of our new website at adultsitebroker.com. We've added some enhancements to the site, such as FAQs and a complete new platform. The look and feel of the new site are nice and up to date. The new site also has links to our marketplace and affiliate programs. Plus, don't forget ASB Marketplace, the first platform where you can buy and sell adult sites and domains for free. ASB Marketplace allows buyers and sellers the chance to come together on properties that are valued below our company's minimum of $50,000. Don't pay for other marketplaces when ASB Marketplace gives you this service for free. Visit asbmarketplace.com and sign up as a seller or as a buyer today. And of course, there's ASB Cash, the first affiliate program for an adult website brokerage, where you can earn as much as 20% of our broker commission referring sellers and buyers to us at Adult Site Broker. Check out asbcash.com for more details and to sign up. Now let's feature our property of the week that's for sale at Adult Site Broker. We're proud to offer for sale a profitable, industry-recognized niche dating network with a unique channel for genuine female adult dating traffic and 5,500 genuine female registrants monthly. The company was launched in 2010. It was nominated Best Dating Program by XBiz in 2012 and AVN in 2013. They've generated nearly 200,000 profiles of real women to the dating network through natural search results and unpaid link placement. These women have created sexy profiles and uploaded photos to attract men, and most have supplied a government-issued photo ID. These profiles can be imported into any dating or cam network. The network's traffic is 91% direct and 8% organic search. They've never marketed to their lists or members outside their own network of dating sites, so that's a huge opportunity for anyone interested in marketing similar dating offers or other adult content and services. Sites were all fully developed in-house by their own developers. Their main developer is available to continue as a contractor. Only $372,000. Now time for this week's interview. My guest today on Adult Site Broker Talk is Stephan Haenel of FinXP. Stephan, thanks for being with us today on Adult Site Broker Talk.
It's a pleasure. A wonderful good morning.
Well, good afternoon to you. Yes, you're in Germany and I'm in Thailand. So it is a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Okay, so
absolutely, and you definitely have the better weather, right?
Don't be so sure. So Stephan is the CFO and co-founder of FinXP. He's an expert strategist with a strong business economics and finance management background, and with years of experience in equity capital markets, financing issues, and business development. Stephan is committed to driving FinXP's growth through innovation and by offering the best service-oriented payment and banking services in Europe. FinXP is an award-winning European payments and banking service provider that is committed to empowering business to easily make and receive payments in whatever form best suits them. The company is led by an experienced management team that's developed a holistic and integrated product portfolio. The clients and industries served are diverse, but FinXP is particularly committed to working with the iGaming, crypto, and adult industries. FinXP is licensed by the Malta Financial Services Authority, and its license is valid all throughout Europe. The company is registered with the European Payments Council, SWIFT, as a principal member of MasterCard. FinXP stands out by offering a combination of integrated payment and banking services under one roof. This is rare, as traditional banks do not process e-commerce payments because they lack a deep understanding of e-commerce business models. Did I get all that right, Stephan?
Perfect. Couldn't have said it any better.
Well, I try. Okay. Must have been the announcer voice. So, Stephan, what motivated you to start FinXP?
Well, we have been in the executive board of a public listed gambling company for decades. So my co-founder and I, and we won several court cases against the state monopoly in lotteries in Germany, and we have seen the needs for reliable banking solutions. Right, sure. All these industries are now added as well, coming under pressure from the banks, from the card schemes. They are in the need for independent solutions, and this was basically the basis. So we have done successfully the fight or against the state monopoly here, and but we saw as well first tendencies for financial blocking, banks starting to support, of course, the state lotteries, same license, right, than the private operators, but blocking them, right? Yeah. And so we said, okay, there is a need, and we have to build this by ourselves, right? So, and that's how it all started.
Okay, so you actually are involved in an iGaming company?
I've been, yes. I was the CFO of a public listed iGaming company.
Ah, very good.
For over 10 years. So we know a bit, at least from the gaming side, and you can transpose this into crypto, into adult as well. We know the problems of the industries, right?
Yeah, I've got a branch in iGaming as well. We'll have to talk about that afterwards. So OnlyFans plan to ban sexually explicit content, apparently due to pressure from banks and payment processors. Here we go. Only for them to go back on that decision. What can companies do to avoid this kind of pushback from financial institutions?
Well, first of all, was a choose carefully, which means is the payment processor or financial institution you are intend to work with management owned? Yeah. Are they planning an IPO? How does the investor landscape look like? Right. So perform your supplier due diligence. And well, even if they do not behave like that, they always remind banks are suppliers. You are the customer, right? Sometimes it feels a bit like
are we really?
Right, exactly. But of course, you have all the rights to choose your partner and check carefully, right? Yeah. And that's what we have seen in so many cases with Adyen, Stripe, and others. They do a lot. They are open to, let's say, the reputational risk. And then IPO plans come, of course, on the desk, and then they start to de-risk in the sense of, now investors will ask, what is our core business, right? Right. And well, Wirecard, which is not a good example anymore, but they're always committed to these industries, right? And we're public.
That was a core part of their. Adult was a core part of their industry.
Exactly, and everyone knew, and you have to be open with that, right? And accept that some investors may not then invest into your IPO, right? Yeah. But there are others, right, who are looking maybe for margins, for profitability. But this is something you may need to do, right? If you choose your partners, to see, because everyone who is investor driven, whether it's be financing rounds every year or at the end the target to the IPO, you might be determined by external partners, and that's maybe one issue as well. And at FinXP, we own the company, we decide, right, and that's a different thing. This does not exclude that we will never may look for an IPO, whatever. But even then, it will be us leading the company, because we are very profitable and we don't need investors in the sense that we give out or give away control.
Sure. Choose your partner carefully. Kind of sounds like dating, actually. So, why do you as FinXP choose to support the adult industry?
Well, we have seen the hypocrisy in the gambling industry and build, of course, subsequently industry solutions that will work as well for the adult industry, right? So while banks are de-risking the reputational risk, for in my view, no reason, right? We will take it as it is a management decision, right? Which I previously explained. So it's we that decide, and the solutions we build will fit perfectly the other industry, and we don't have these moral issues. Of course, it has to be legal and follow certain standards, but it has been around for decades, and or in other words, it's one of the oldest business of the world, right?
Sure.
So and everyone does it. So I can imagine the bankers of these first-tier banks. They all have issues with their diversity in the supervisory boards, right? They are very often accused of not taking women rights serious or paying the same salaries, all the stuff, right? Then you can imagine these investment bankers going for a big party in the night, table dance club and the like, right? And the next morning they decline the adult merchant, right? You can find all these guys you find in the clubs in London, in the table dance bars in Miami, in LA, wherever, right? And then the next morning they decline adult industry. Oh, no, we can't do that, right? Hey guys, okay, and then stay off to the clubs, right?
Well, or they're hiring high class call girls, and let's face it, they're consumers of porn. They're mainly men. We know they're consumers of porn. These politicians are consumers of porn. So,
well, of course,
yeah, it's
there's a lot of hypocrisy on this, right?
Oh my God, the hypocrisy is so deep you could cut it. So, what are some opportunities that you can assist companies in our industry with?
Yeah, all right. Well, we can support in several areas. And so why we do offer credit card processing, we have a lot, of course, alternative methods that are designed to reach out to the customers, the consumers, right, of our merchants. So the industry, in my view, of course, is very much driven from the US, right? So all the big players, they start in the US, and the US is very much credit card minded, right?
Yes.
And even if we deal with other merchants, like in the CBD area, we are at the moment, we have just recently onboarded a large US player. They all think credit cards. Guys, there within Europe, but even in the US, there are people who don't have credit cards or who don't want to use credit cards, especially if you look into the adult industry or gaming. They don't, because the wife sees the statement, right? So they don't want to use the credit card.
Hey, what's this charge? What's this charge for $100,000, honey?
And so you have to reach out to them with other alternatives, right? Sure. And that's what we as well offer. Our gateway has, which is a lot of local acquirers, but overall it's 350 plus payment processors, banks that are technically connected, right? And so I will talk maybe about some solutions a bit later.
Okay.
But this could be interesting because with as well some acquirers withdrawing from the industry, right? You need to look into to other payment methods, right? And apart from that, we do offer dedicated business accounts to support the increasing need for banking in the industry, right? We have seen a lot of companies that are now there without bank accounts or just lost some of their bank relationships because banks are saying, oh no. We have had clients, not directly from the adult industry, but just to give you an example, we had a marketing agency in Germany doing a lot of course, online marketing, all the search engine stuff, the social media. Right. So being very special in that, but doing as well of the good old stuff, like very high level magazines, right? And they decided to build a portal, which was their first step into adult industry, but to build a portal where the call girls can match their clients. Yeah, but in a different way, so a bit linked to Facebook and the stuff. Their bank, first-tier German bank, realized that, and apart from that, they were just doing the standard marketing business, right? Yeah. So nothing with adult, and which was the biggest part of it. But just because they started with that business, the bank terminated all the relationship.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Right.
Doesn't
and this is something
me. That's also running afoul of some laws in the U.S. with FOSTA SESTA, which I'm sure you're familiar with. So actually, they are violating a U.S. statute that the U.S. can actually come after them for. And if the bank facilitates it, I believe, no, I'm not an attorney, but I believe the bank might be liable. And don't quote me on that, but it's possible.
Okay, I don't know the U.S. Legal system in depth, but
you need to talk to your attorney about FOSTA SESTA. That's one that you really do need to know about because it's pretty serious.
Okay, I will.
Yeah. So
quite interesting because
yeah. So I'm not surprised the bank shut them down because if they're doing escort advertising, then they are clearly violating a U.S. law. And as you probably know, the arm of the U.S. AG is pretty long.
No, that's true. But they were just doing, in that case here, a business in Germany.
Oh, okay.
And no ties to the US at all. So
well, if that's if that's the case, then they probably weren't.
Right. Exactly.
But maybe the bank did.
Because I'm aware of that. So
yeah.
Advertising is different, but this is just the de-risking on the reputational risk.
Oh, sure, absolutely. So you answered this partially earlier, but
yes,
I'm sorry, you had more. Yeah. Sorry.
No. Just because there's something more to add, so we no problem. So we provide dedicated accounts payments. Of course, we even would look into if someone obeys US laws, right? But and what we do is we do process payouts for and provide accounts to the industry's content providers.
Nice.
Including debit cards. That's the fund. So what we are already doing is that we have, of course, the webcam services, right? Mm-hmm. And they even see problems in getting their partners, content providers, settled.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. And that's something we do, and we could even provide them accounts so that they get not from directly from the merchant, which then might be blocked, but they get it from their account with us into their account they have in wherever in Europe, for example. And so then it's a bank-to-bank transfer, and the bank will not stop it because they don't see the payer as the adult player, right?
Sure.
And this is quite a good service.
That's a very good service, actually. That's something I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in. Now, sorry to interrupt you. So you somewhat answered this, but I'm sure there's probably a more lengthy reply on it that I'm gonna let you go on. Why is it that traditional banks don't work with the adult industry, but you can support the industry?
Well, this is a short answer. We own the company, right? We decide, right? And we are highly profitable. And we do not need investors' money and are free to decide, right? And, of course, we focus on the money laundering risk, which is to us key, but not on the reputational risk. We mentioned already the hypocrisy in that we are not here to judge whether the adult industry is good or bad, right? It has to be legal, but then... well, it's in a democratic, liberal world. This all should be possible, right?
Yes.
Right? And if you look into, if you look into just my personal opinion, webcam service, it offers women and men, of course, an option to earn income, right? In a much safer environment, right? Because they are at home, right? And they don't have to meet people. So this is, to me, a much safer and cleaner way. And so why not supporting that, right? If you would not support it, you cut off people who might be even in the need to make some extra money, right? And we want to, right? They are not forced to do, to earn money.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you look at the live cams, and you look at the OnlyFans type of site, the fan sites, the clip sites. I mean, this has been a lifeline for so many people that didn't have work during the pandemic. And not only, were able to get by, but they thrived.
Exactly.
So are you worried that the whole war on porn is going to harm FinXP as a supporter of the adult industry?
Well, my previous company, so the betting iGaming company. Well, we won the war on gambling in Germany, and indeed, because we, as I earlier mentioned, we won several very important court cases against the state monopoly, and so we can stand criticism and hostility. So, and again, we are independent, and there always will be people and groups that try to fight against the way, let's say, other people do business or live their private lives, right? There's ban on cannabis, there's ban on keeping exotic pets, ban on driving, ban on gambling, ban on erotic, right? Ban on everything. So nothing that should be banned in a free, democratic, and liberal society.
That's
right.
Correct.
So, but we, of course, we have to be careful. We have to take these movements serious and position ourselves against it, right? And that's something maybe that's important. So stand up for your rights here, and because sometimes the industries watch and going back into their hole, saying, okay, it won't come that bad, right? And you need to do constant lobby work as well.
Yes.
Right, you have to point out the income for the people, the taxes paid, and all the stuff. So, right, because no one really knows that it may have changed due to now a lot of all the Netflix, Amazon Prime stuff that people watching as well now, not via TV, but on via internet, films and whatever. But some years ago, I think 60 to 70% of the internet traffic was adult industry.
Yep.
Right. So there's a market, right? There's servers, there's IT companies involved. There's a lot of taxes, right? But I think lobbyism is very important. Otherwise, we may lose the war long term, right?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
By the way, I know that the German tax authority can be a little rough. You sued the government and won. How many years in a row have you been audited?
Well, that's a different story. half of my life. No. The two main causes up to High Court decision and the victory. It took us 5 and 4 years to get through. Right.
But has the tax authority come after you?
No, because this was not a tax thing.
I know, but in the U.S., it's kind of funny because if you go against the government, the IRS tends to show up. So anyway.
To put some pressure on. No, okay, no, not at all. They are really independent, so there's no linkage.
Nice to know.
And so yeah, this is.
I should be from your country. So. Besides everyone using FinXP, how do you see payments in the adult industry developing in the next 3 to 5 years? I kind of added the first part.
Yeah. So, well, if credit card and banking, of course, will be under pressure for sure. We see it now; it will increase, right? So, the industry needs to develop their own ecosystem for banking and payment, right? In general, I see crypto will play a significant role.
Yes.
Right. This will be increased, but it be paying with bitcoins and other coins, or even stable coins that may establish more and more.
Yep.
Like you have the bonus systems, bonus points, miles with the airlines, right? And similar systems might work here. I see solutions like our cash to code solution, right, being established more and more, or wallet-based offers, right?
Sure.
And of course, part of our solution as well, consumers might choose to apply for an account with an industry-friendly institution like us, right? So we come to that maybe a bit later, but that's a bit our vision, and we have established this already for the iGaming, that you have the ecosystem where the merchant has an account, the consumer has the account, and then they can and maybe even their affiliate partners, and then they can interact and pay within this ecosystem, without leaving it or just leaving it at some points. And whenever the consumers make a payment or receive, it's not for my gaming, it's from us, right?
Sure.
And what you say from their account, right? So
yeah, and so you see what used to be alternative becoming primary at some point soon.
Absolutely. That's my check. Right?
I would agree with you. I would agree with you. Now, FinXP also serves other so-called high-risk industries like crypto and iGaming. How is the adult industry the same or different to these other industries?
Adult has definitely a lower money laundering risk than gambling.
Yeah.
Well, which gambling I deem not to be that high. It has been placed there by regulators, right, for political motivated reason.
Yeah.
Right. That's why we have gambling as defined by the regulators as being high risk for money laundering, right? Mm-hmm. And offline, yes, casinos, cash, no second opinion, right? There have been so much money in there, but the online, it's if not the whole setup is fraudulent or designed to support money laundering, it's more or less impossible because everything has to be done via a credit card, a bank account, a wallet, right? Sure. So you have the complete audit trail, so you can't launder much, right? And try to launder $1 million in the casino, right? With 98% you get back, so you have to. The winnings are small, so you have to sit there for hours and weeks to get it in small tranches back. So doesn't make sense. True. But Adel, of course, has even a much lower risk than crypto. Right. So from this perspective, it's very welcome with us, with FinXP. And what remains is the fraud risk, the reputation risk, and the risk of illegal content. But this is all manageable. And especially as we have very scalable, highly automated procedures and tools. So this should not keep one, and even not a bank, from stopping the business. The issue is we have, so the very good thing was within Europe, the fourth anti-AML directive, right, which raised or come up with the risk-based approach, right? But no one is following the risk-based approach. It doesn't mean downsize or de-risk, right? Yeah. Downsizing your risk. It means know your risk and then define your measures, right? That's what we do. We see, okay, there might be a higher risk in certain industries, but we will take them. But of course, we have to do additional measures and be more careful then, right? Right. But that's the thing, not getting rid of the risk, but adjusting your measures, right?
Yeah. And, wouldn't it be nice if everyone thought of it that way?
Indeed, so because they're throwing away so many opportunities, right? And then banks are mourning on reduced profitabilities and right, losing business. Yeah, why, guys?
Yeah.
If you don't,
business. They're not making any money. I believe that. Yeah. I see their earnings reports. Yeah, not exactly. How do you manage to keep up to date on what's happening in the adult industry?
Well, listening to our existing merchants is key.
Right.
And then, of course, attending trade shows, fairs focused on the industry or on industries and payment, so like Money 2020.
Right.
Where you always get the general trends, right? You get a lot of inspiration and ideas while attending these shows, talking to your clients, and again, listen, right?
Yes.
That's how we develop solutions, right? Because we see, okay, there's a problem. So how can we? And of course, even on the other side, the merchant has to listen as well to us. And being willing to adopt the solutions or even changing their internal procedures or their software.
Yes.
Right. So to some extent, you need to let us in to connect payment solutions. Right.
Right.
And but that's what we do. It's about talking to people, listening to your sales guys, listen to the merchants, attending trade shows. Right. And that's the way you do it.
So with regards to payments and banking, what keeps you up at night?
Well, I do sleep well at night, so I have a good conscience, right? But I do restore a 64 Blumers Richard Petty tribute car at the moment, so that keeps me up in the night. So searching for parts, thinking about how are we doing it, right? So that's
sounds like a project.
That's a project indeed. Yeah, we stripped the car. We now it's painted, but now you have to get everything together, right? Transmissions, engine. Well, challenging, but nice project. But serious with regards to business. It's really the building of the solutions for problems of certain industries, right? The payment ecosystem I mentioned, which we have built, there's more to come, but that includes the merchants, their customers, and their marketing and affiliate partners. This is indeed key, and there are a lot of thoughts that even sometimes indeed keeps me up in the night by thinking about, okay, how can we do that, or how can we do things faster, right? To elaborate more on the APIs of our core banking system, right? So, because this is not like credit card processing, which has been around there for decades, and the technology, processes are quite clear to everyone, right? Sure. This is new APIs, new interfaces, linked, right? And this is something where you have to spend some brains on that, and indeed that's something.
You said you got some things coming up. Anything you want to share?
Well, as I said, the cash to code solution is a very good one, and our closed loop ecosystem, so providing bank accounts for the merchants, for the consumers, for the industry, especially the content providers, right? Which makes it much easier to receive the settlements and to allocate then the payments to your partners, right? And
sure.
And this is already there, but there's of course more. So we have a very good way on payouts for the gaming industry, for example. So, but the other is paying with your bank account, right? Is something that's upcoming, where you ideally see your balance on the merchant side, and then can decide to use this balance to pay a bit like a wallet, right? But it will be backed by the bank account, right? Of course, it needs the consumer to apply for that, right? So there is a bit of a hurdle in, but the less you can use a credit card and other methods, the more you may go into that. And once you have it established,
right,
it's there, right?
Sure. So what's your vision for FinXP, especially when it comes to the adult industry?
Yeah, well, of course, really to get a much bigger footprint into this industry, like we today for iGaming. Well, among our partners, clients, there are the really first tier players, and this would be the vision as well for the adult industry, to really get a strong footprint into that, and to finalize and adopt our closed loop payment ecosystem for the industry. Right. Okay. Because I see we could deliver tremendous support, and the industry will as well benefit a lot if they take the time to talk to us and as well to invest into their IT systems and to connect to us. Right. So I think there will be a big benefit.
Sure. Now, what's an important lesson you've learned throughout your career that you think is especially relevant to people listening?
Listen to your customers, listen to your team members, and always have a fallback. And of course, never trust any bank, right? And
I already don't worry.
Okay, that's good.
That's at the top of my enemies list, so don't worry.
Indeed, right? Then comes the lawyers.
Lawyers, politicians, governments, insurance companies. Yeah. They're all up there. Airlines.
The mortgage banks, there's some more. But banks really have become
corporations.
Even in general for industry, they have become a risk for the economy, right? Because it's not only these high risk in brackets industries. Yeah, it's even the mortgage player. They have issues, right? But maybe some more lessons. Have your KYC in order. Be compliant. And even more be transparent, right? So coming along the way, we have seen so much complex structures with affiliate networks involved in tax-friendly countries, funds flows all over the world, right? don't be surprised if a bank declines your application or even terminates contract if you have Hong Kong, Dubai, Cyprus, Ireland, US, everything involved, and then payments go everywhere. Dollar is an issue, right? If you process in dollar, because it is indeed because everyone who is not a US bank needs the affiliate or the correspondent partner bank in the US, right? Mm-hmm. And they have very tight rules. Meanwhile, what you can process or not, mm-hmm. and they are all afraid to lose their dollar correspondent.
Sure.
So they will strictly obey to whatever rule the US banks tell them, right?
Sure.
And this means that they will not risk their dollar facility for a smaller business, or because they still do the big industry players, right? Mm-hmm. The car manufacturers, General Electrics and Siemens of the world, mm-hmm. and that's their business. They will not risk their dollar business for iGaming or adult industry.
Right.
And so whatever you do, because we still get requests. Oh, can you do dollar? And we, basically yes, but it will risk even your relationship with us, because then we as well need dollar correspondent, and they will tell us, what are you guys doing? So mm-hmm. switch into the euro. Right?
Yeah, the KYC on dollar is just ridiculous.
Yeah. But the industry is still asking, can you do dollar, guys? You have a problem, right? Don't ask for one again for one of the reasons why you have a problem, right?
Big time. Yeah, my country. Oof. Anyway, what's the? Of course, I'm in Thailand, right? What's the number one takeaway you'd like listeners to remember from this interview?
Always have a fallback. Be compliant and transparent, and of course, apply with FinXP.
Oh, very good.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think that was more than one, but anyway, I'll let you off the hook. Where can listeners find you?
Well, www.finxp.com.
Well, Stephan, I'd like to thank you for being our guest today on Adult Site Broker Talk. I learned a lot, and I hope we'll get a chance to do this again really soon.
Very open for that. Appreciate it a lot. And thanks for the opportunity as well of being here.
Thank you.
And thanks a lot.
My broker tip today is part 2 of how to buy a site. Last week, we discussed first deciding the type of site you want to buy and then establishing what your budget is. Next, it's time to look for your new website. So where do you look? Well, Adult Site Broker is a great place to start. We always have a nice variety of website and non-website properties for sale, but if there's a particular type of site you want, we can always act as your buyer's broker to help you find just the right site. Other places to look are on the boards, but to be completely frank, unless what you're looking for is a really low-end property, you're probably not going to find what you're looking for there. Of course, you could contact site owners yourself, but take it from someone who does it for a living. It's a major hassle, and it can be really hard to even find out who owns a site. Almost all adult sites use Whois privacy from their domain registrar, so when you send them an email, it will be to an anonymous address, and in most cases, the emails aren't returned. We have a huge database of sellers and generally know who owns what. And if it's a website of note, if we don't know who owns it, we can always find out. We'll talk about this subject more next week. And next week, we'll be speaking with Panos of GFY and the Internext Expo in Las Vegas. And that's it for this week's Adult Site Broker Talk. I'd once again like to thank my guest, Stephan Haenel. Talk to you again next week on Adult Site Broker Talk. I'm Bruce Friedman.